praying for me. They weren't there judging me. They weren't there holding big graphic signs in my face. They were there with open arms. They were there to offer resources. They were there telling me that they had real help for me. Not this false sense of hope that Planned Parenthood tries to give people. And that's what these women need to hear. That's what the clinic workers need to hear. That's what the fathers need to hear when they are walking into these clinics. Women think that they're walking in there for hope. But we know where the real hope is. We know that it's standing out there with us. Because we know that wherever Christ is, that's where hope is. And we know that Christ is with us. We have to be there presenting a Christ-like witness, because we have to remember that a lot of the women going in there, they have rationalized to themselves that they're doing God's work. I did that. And we have to be out there showing these clinic workers. There were women that would be on the abortion table, having their abortion, holding a rosary. There is a spiritual struggle going on inside the hearts of these women that are working in the abortion industry and the women that are choosing to have abortions. And we as Christians, and we who are members of the church, have to be willing to reach out to these women and these clinic workers as a Christ-like witness, not in anger, not with judgment, but with love. And sometimes, I know particularly with clinic workers, it's hard to feel like we can love them because of what they're doing, but we have to love them anyway. And if there's ever a time that people need compassion and need to feel love, it is right there at an abortion clinic, because I'm here to tell you that Christ is not inside those clinic walls. He's not there. And so many women want to bring him in there. And he's just not there. He's not with them. He can't be in a place where someone is killing his creation. But so many people have rationalized Christ in a way that is not true. And we have to be there presenting the truth to these women and men. We can't just be there. 40 Days for Life, I work for 40 Days for Life. They give me my paycheck, so I have to present 40 Days for Life. 40 Days for Life is great. But it can't just be for 40 days. We have to make a commitment to be there beyond 40 days. Abortions don't just happen 40 days a year. They happen every day. They happen by the thousands. And we have to commit to being there. I'm not saying you have to be there every day. That'd be great. have to be there at least when the abortions are happening. We have to. It's too important. There has to be a sense of urgency within us because children are dying every day. We commit to working 40 hours a week for a paycheck to pay bills. What will you do to save children? It's too important. Has anybody heard of Kitty Genovese? Does anybody know that story? One person? Okay. Kitty Genovese was a lady in the 60s that was stabbed to death in New York. And she was stabbed to death in the middle of the street. And 38 people watched her being stabbed to death. And nobody called the police. And she just died. She just laid there right in the street and died. And it created something that psychologists call the bystander effect. That everybody watched her die, but nobody did anything about it. And my question to you today is, will you be somebody that is caught up in the bystander effect? Or will you be somebody that sees this injustice happening every day by the thousands? And will you be somebody that is active in this movement and does something about it? It's never too late to get started, and this is great, but we have to do something starting tomorrow that affects people every single day. That's my question to you. I want to encourage you, keep up the great work, stay strong, and God bless.